مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم فما لي
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My respected brothers and sisters, welcome back to your channel Only Quran and Sunnah. Today, inshallah ta'ala, in this short clip, I am going to interpret the meaning of seeing blood in our dream. This is a very common dream. Many individuals, they see blood in different forms in their dream, whether they are wounded and they see blood coming from their body, or they just happen to see blood on a regular occurrence in their dream. So today I am only going to mention a few scenarios and the interpretations of those scenarios. If a person sees himself or herself falling into a well which is full of blood, obviously normally wells are full of water, but if a person sees himself or herself falling into a well of blood, what does this indicate? This indicates the individual who is falling will be found in some criminal activity, or will be plagued with illicit money, meaning he or she will either be involved in criminal activity or will be found with unlawful illegal money. So falling into a well of blood is not a good dream. May Allah protect us from such a dream. May Allah protect us from haram and from criminal activity. Ameen. Another scenario, if a person sees that there is a pool of blood at his house or her house, or at a business that they own, or any type of residence, or a common place where they usually go or where they are usually found. If they find a pool of blood in such a place, this indicates that individual sorry, I'll word this again. This indicates that the blood of that individual will be shed in such a place, meaning it could mean anything. It could mean that that person would fall over, hurt themselves, and blood will come from their body, or they would be stabbed or hurt in such a place, and their blood will flow onto the ground in such a place. Another scenario, my respected brothers and sisters, it's a very unusual one. When we bleed from our body, from our arm, from our face, wherever it may be, blood will always come with a wound. These two things are normally hand in hand. If we have a wound, we would usually bleed, and dependent upon how deep and severe the wound is, we will bleed equivalent to the depth of the wound. But in our dream, if we see that we are bleeding but there is no wound, there is nothing to indicate a reason for blood coming from our body, what would this indicate? My brothers and sisters, if a person sees himself or herself in such a state where he or she is bleeding and there is no wound, if that individual is wealthy, is rich, then the meaning would be that money would come from that individual's pocket, meaning money would be taken from that individual, or that individual would give money equivalent to how much blood is seen. So if it is a large amount of blood, a high quantity of blood, then that individual would give, or money would be taken in that quantity. If he or she sees a small amount of blood, then small amounts of money would be taken, or he or she would give in a small quantity. This could be taken in a bad way or a good way. It could mean that person would give happily from their own will and desire, or it would be taken forcefully without their will or desire. If a person is poor, who does not have wealth, does not have much money, if that person sees themselves bleeding and there is no indication of a wound, but blood is flowing, once again dependent upon the amount of blood, that person would find benefit and blessing. So if a poor person sees such a dream, then they would find benefit or blessing dependent upon the amount of blood that they have seen. So the scenario is more or less the same, but it's dependent upon whether the person is poor or whether the person is rich. My respected brothers and sisters, as I have mentioned many a times in all of my clips, the meanings are not always certain. They could differ, but if you feel worried, then you should give sadaqah, give some charity in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This will indeed alleviate problems from your life. So there are many other scenarios of seeing blood in our dream. Different places, different types of blood, and there are different interpretations. For example, if someone is bleeding from the mouth or bleeding from the nose, there is a different interpretation, which inshallah I will shed lights upon in a different clip. But these were a few popular scenarios in which people seem to see blood in their dream, and quite unusual scenarios. And dreams are not usually straightforward. Dreams are usually unusual, and the interpretation is usually unusual and not straightforward, as many seem to think. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all with good health. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strengthen our iman. May we only see dreams that are of benefits for us, and may any problem that we have in our life be solved through the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you have not done so, subscribe to your channel Only Quran and Sunnah. Also like and share the contents of your channel Only Quran and Sunnah. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم فما لي